Yeah, my name is Martin Broom. The book is about a little mouse who used to live in Donegal in Ireland. Um, Through tragedy, he decided, he'd up sticks and join his cousins in Oxford. Unfortunately, one Danny Lamprey swapped his tickets for Oxford to Gillingham. So obviously, basically put, that was the reason why it actually turns around and says Gillingham inside the book quite a lot. The book came about, I suppose, because of it's an actual thank you. To study my MA in Advanced Child Protection, I asked a Home Start whether they would actually write me a reference, because I hadn't done anything, professional sort of thing to do with children. I chose Home Start for the first book because basically I was a volunteer, and basically put, they were the people who got me into what I'm doing now. I suppose indirectly it's a labour of love, really. I mean, I always wanted to write a book, but it was when, how, certain things. Was there any time? Unfortunately, my partner is disabled, so I now have all the time in the world to do what I want. But this project here is a project about helping local charities. This is Home Start Medway. They help children under the age of 5 with parents, parenting skills. If you've lost a parent through illness, or a traffic accident, they help with bereavement. They even help with money problems now. So but it's not a charity that's well known. So I thought, well, let's get it out there. Let's show the world what these charities do for no reason of their own. So the first book is for Home Start Medway. The second book will be for the Rainbow Trust, which is, a children's charity. They have life-debilitating diseases or life-limiting diseases. So that's how come book 2 is come about. So it's now become more or less a sequel to everything else that goes on. So I suppose in a way it's, if you can, why not? So £1 from every book, say for instance this first book, goes to Home Start. I don't get nothing from it. It's for them. I wrote the book for them as a thank you. The second book I wrote for a friend who had, unfortunately, his 18-month-old daughter died of cancer. Although he has 2 other children, he said to me, why not? I said, well, okay, then the Rainbow Trust will be the second book. So that's how that came about. So obviously, the third, the fourth, the fifth, there will be 8 in total, and they will help 8 local charities. All the money will remain in the Medway towns. It will not be going anywhere else. It will remain in the Medway towns. More or less fell into the Medway towns. Originally, I was born in Norwich, grew up in Norfolk. My parents couldn't find any work there, so we moved to London and basically lived in Woolwich and then Charlton. Over the years I've done, sorry, this hearing aid's just gone. Sorry about it. So, through different jobs and everything else, what people don't realise is that up until 2012 I had no qualifications. I more or less worked my way through life. So it was a case of, what do you do next? I was involved in a road traffic accident in London, but during this time we'd already moved to the Medway towns from Belvedere, me and my partner, and basically our son was born at Medway Maritime Hospital. So Gillingham is very central to what we do. It's where we live, it's how we live, and so on and so forth. But we also foster. So we're foster carers as well. So it was basically, trying to do something different. But as I say, up until 2012, I never even had any qualifications. So I did an access course. From that access course, I then went to university. From university, I've now gone on to do an MA in Advanced Child Protection. So, but what I think is really nice about the Medway towns is that, there's a few of them, and it's more like a community. But the community is growing. As more people come into the Medway towns, services are actually pushed to breaking point. So that's what these books will help to do. They will help these charities continue their work. I mean, Home Start Medway, they do fantastic work. I mean, you know, having been a volunteer, I understand what they think and what they do. But they're currently in a building where they haven't got permanency. So it's a case of things could happen where, you know, you just turn around and you go, well, what happens if their landlord, you know, he's been quite frequently really interested in what they still do, and, you know, he hasn't kicked them out yet, but it's obviously he wants to develop the building, make it more modern looking and so on and so forth, which he has every right to. So I thought, well, if there was any way I could actually help, you know, where they could make a transition from one building to another, then basically that will help. So I thought, well, £1 from every book. You get the book, they get the money.
And how much money has been raised so far, do you know?
I can guarantee 95 quid, yeah, so far. But the sales, they only come in like every quarter, so you don't know how many more you've... But it currently sits number 3 in the online animal book charts on amazon.co.uk. So, you know, it's number 73 in the top 100 books on mice in the same charts. So I was quite surprised at how much it's picked up. I mean, a lot of it is from word of mouth, you know what I mean, but I wanted to keep the price low so everyone can have a copy. It's available on Kindle, so, you know, if you've got a Kindle Fire, you can have the pictures, and the pictures will be colour on the Kindle. On this, they're black and white. So it was one of those things that, you know, you always wanted to do. You know, when you turn around and say, I always wanted to be in filming and things like that with yourself. So you tend to think, am I really good at doing this? Is there anything I can prove that I can do it? But I didn't even have a computer 5 years ago. So, you know, my first 3 essays at access level were all handwritten. So the transformation from having no qualifications to this, it just goes to show that if you push yourself individually, you can achieve anything. It doesn't make any difference. You have the ability, go for it. And that is my advice. Enjoy what you do, but make sure you do it properly.
You tell me a little bit about the drawings as well, because I know you've done the illustrations as well.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to... a friend of mine suggested, you know, we'll find an illustrator, and I said, all right, fine, yeah, that sounds really good. And then I realised how much it was going to cost. It was going to cost £150 per picture, and then obviously, you know, it's for charity. It's not for me. It's not, you know, if it was my book and it was for me, I'd say, well, yeah, fine, fair enough, I'll pay that because I'm going to get that back tenfold. So I thought, well, what can I do? I thought, well, Mark, you can draw. Do your own illustrations. So, but yeah, I mean, the front picture, you know, just started out one day, just one little speck, and then all of a sudden this little mouse appeared and so on and so forth. But we had mice in the house, and this is where it comes from. And our dog, everyone says that dog lives the life of Riley. And I thought, well, that's it. Seamus Riley, little mouse. You can't go wrong with that. So the drawings are all mine. It's a complete book. And what's unique about it is that it's for a charity. It's not for me, it's for a charity. So 20, 30 years down the line, if anything happens to me, those books will then be donated to the charities. They can use them in any way they want for the rest of their lives.
And what have the charities said to you, sort of knowing that you've done this for them?
They're quite shocked, really. You know, they can't believe that anyone would do anything like that. And I was like, well, you did something for me, I've got to do something back. You know, it's like you can't have two polar opposites and then say, well, I'll take what I want and I'll keep what I've got. You know, there are others out there who need that help. You know, these children, they're under 5 and they only work with under 5s, Home Start. They offer parenting skills, they do their own little nursery groups and so on and so forth. So they need funds for that. So it's a case of, okay, you helped me get onto my degree. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you to keep doing the work that you do. And they're always short of volunteers. Do you know what I mean? I would say if you could offer 2 hours a week, get in touch. They're a fantastic little charity. They sit underneath everyone else. Everyone else has heard of Sure Start and so on and so forth. But these charities that these books will be used for will be charities that are not very well known. But it gets them out there. People know what they're doing then. And it also helps the community, because it's a community. And this is a community book. It's for the community. It will remain in the community.
Perfect. Unless there's anything else you'd like to add, maybe a little about when the next book's coming out, that sort of thing.
Well, it's a labour of love, really, because the next one's a bit bigger.
Is it still a children's book, the next one?
It's a follow-on from the first book, so it's.
Oh, so it will be the same characters.
It'll be the same
ones?
characters.
Okay.
There will be 8 books, and there will be the same characters, different storylines. The next book, hopefully, will be out within the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's just a matter of sending it off to the publisher, David Morrison of Publish Nation, who's been absolutely fantastic with what I want to actually do. He said, "What?" I said, "It's for charity." He said, "That's a brilliant idea. I'm there for you if you need me." So, so basically, it's about helping everyone instead of yourself. It's about being selfless. Instead of actually turning around and saying, "I want this, I want that, and I'm going to do whatever I want, no matter what." It's a case of, here you go, let's do something together. So between me and David, we've got in touch with the company that actually prints the books and publishes them. And unfortunately, it's an American company, but to up the price so everyone can have it, so you can buy it in W.H. Smith's and everything else, but they make a profit on it. But they make more profit than the charity. So it makes no sense to do that. So I thought, well, I'll do it. It's on Amazon. If you want it, you can buy it. It's $5.99. And I will try and keep the prices as low as possible so that everyone, even if you're on low income, can help. Because if everyone can help, then we're all in it together.